All right. Hello, everyone. I am Jeff Russell, broker associate here at eXp Realty, and I have a special guest today. I've been trying to get this guy on an interview for the last 11 months, and I'm so excited to finally have Peter on here. So this is Peter Butros, and I met him through Club Wealth Coaching, which we are both a part of. You're a coach too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Peter's a coach. I'm a coach. We actually have the same coach, Coach Sharif, and he is awesome, and he's done so much for us. But, I want to talk to you, Peter, today about, what did you do prior to real estate? What got you into real estate, and just kind of tell me about your career path. Because when I heard Peter's story 11 months ago now, I was just amazed. And I was very impressed with everything he's been able to do with what he's doing. And I see so many agents out there struggling, and I see him just flourishing. So I thought it'd be great to interview you and share, what you've done. So with that being said, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, thanks a lot, Jeff, for having me on your podcast. I obviously, very inspired by you as well. You've helped a lot between the short sale side, or even just given some insight on your luxury marketing that you've done and how you advertise luxury listings overall. So a little bit about my background story. I came, so obviously I'm an immigrant. So I came from Egypt when I was 13. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. Just like a lot of immigrant parents, they want to make sure that you're successful. So they pushed us a lot into either becoming a doctor or an engineer. Like these are kind of the only two choices that we had, because that's all they know, right? Like coming from, a country like Egypt, they think this is the only path to success. So I got into engineering school. I studied mechanical engineering, and from there I worked as an engineer, an HVAC estimator for the government in New York City. We were responsible of estimating the cost of HVAC work on school construction. So we were responsible of reviewing the contractor's bid, negotiating with them, and then coming up with proposals and reading plans and all of that. And I was there for about 8 years, actually close to 10 years, before I pulled the trigger and went full time into real estate. Real estate to me was something I wasn't even aware of or like never really thought of. I was like 28. And one day I was listening to a podcast and I heard Bigger Pockets, and I was like, hey, this is something that is definitely interesting. I want to get into real estate investing. And I started going to a lot of the meetups, and I was listening to what investors do to get those deals, and kind of got me thinking of like, okay, there's something else other than the 9 to 5 here. Like, how do I build, financial freedom overall?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, by accident, my wife had to get her real estate license because she was a property manager. They didn't require her before to get her license, but all of a sudden now they made her get her license. I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and take that class with you, just so I can learn more about investing in real estate. And we took the class together. I'm like, okay, well, I passed my real estate exam now. Let me see what I can do with it. I was always a very competitive person. I like to set goals for myself, and I just don't like being, stagnant anywhere that I'm at. So once I got my real estate license, I was like, okay, let me start calling my friends and family members, or started posting on social media. During my lunch break, I would use the hour that I have for lunch just to reach out to everybody that I know, and just let them know that I'm in real estate.
Here's the important part. You still have a full-time job while you're doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so it's full-time, and it wasn't
impressive to me. I mean, because I know a lot of realtors that are full-time real estate that have not been able to accomplish what you've accomplished. So I just want to make sure all of our viewers understand, look, Peter has a full-time 9 to 5 job. He's doing real estate on the side, so to speak. So go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and just to put in perspective too, it wasn't a job that I went to as a close commute. It was almost 2 hours each way to get to my job. I had to leave my house at 6 a.m. to get to the office by 8. And then I left the office at 4 to get home by 6.
Wow.
So it was definitely a very long commute. The job over there I wouldn't say it was easy, but I had a little bit of flexibility where like I can send text messages and things like that from there. But yeah, I was utilizing my time during my lunch break, during my commute, going to work and coming back from work to maximize every second that I have to be able to get a little bit more income so I can use to buy an investment property. My first year while doing this, I closed about 10 deals, and that was 2018. And then after that, I did somewhere around 18 deals, then went to the third year, 28, and I was still working both jobs. And right around right around COVID, when COVID hit, we started working from home, and I really, after my second year, I was like, okay, I really need to make sure that I prove to my family that I can pull the trigger, because I had a baby that was just born, my 6-year-old. At that point, she was just born. My wife wasn't working, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a big risk that I'm going to take if I'm going to leave my 9 to 5. And especially, I was only 2 years away from being fully vested in the pension. There was a pension that if I only stayed 2 years that I would get. I was, 6 years ago, that's like me 32, 32 at that point, or 31. And I was like, look, doing the math with Michael Hellickson, we were like, okay, let's do the math together. Like, if you stayed an extra 2 years, you will get about $20,000 a year when you're 64. This is what you're really trying to do. And how much money are you going to leave on the table? It's like, do you think you can make that money if you just buy one investment property? I'm like, absolutely. And he was like, okay, well, say no more. So during COVID, this was really my test year, where I was like, okay, if I'm able to replace my income, and which I actually did, I doubled my salary while I was working my other job before COVID. So it was just really a matter of, let me just go ahead and pull the trigger now. It was just very nerve-wracking for me, because my family was depending on me. I was the only breadwinner to be able to pay the mortgage, support them financially, and all these things. Right. And, worked both jobs during COVID. And then during that time, my second daughter was born. And then I was like, okay, when they called everybody back to work to the office, this is pretty much when I quit. And I went all in into real estate.
Wow, that is incredible. Yeah, so dual career, as we like to call it, and to how I think did I hear you say how many transactions in that last year as you were dual careered?
Oh man, we did close to 64.
Wait, while you had two jobs?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for the people that aren't in real estate, the average realtor closes a transaction every other month, right?
Yeah.
Full time. And here you are with 64 transactions in a year. I mean, that's more than a lot of full-time realtors do by themselves. Did you have a team, or was it just you?
Oh yeah. So during that 64 transactions, this was my start of having a team. I would say, they did about 20 of those deals. I had a team of about 3 to 4 agents at that point. And it was, and that's outside of my assistants. I had a virtual assistant on top of the 3 to 4 agents that I had that was helping us out a lot. But yeah, I mean, it was, I would say, somewhere between 70 or about 70% of the transactions I was able to do. So close to like 40 deals that I did on my own while I was dual career, and then the other 24 were from other agents on the team.
So, and I think I know the answer to this. Success leaves clues. Did you think of all this on yourself, or did you get this information? Did you watch your mentors and what they were doing and basically emulate that?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's definitely a great question. And this is a thing too that I didn't mention is I was always a big fan of trying to not do all the mistakes on my own. I want to learn from somebody, and I want to pay for time. Like, I was fortunate enough to have some savings, and I thought of it as an investment, where I was like, okay, how do I make sure that I get to success as fast as possible? And for that reason, I invested into coaching. And with coaching, I started with a smaller coach in the beginning for about a year. And then after that, it was like, okay, it got me to a good start. And now I wanted to go to the next level. And this is where I found Club Wealth and Michael Hellickson. Had a lot of great coaches through my career from Club Wealth. And this is one of the things that I liked, is because that you always had a coach that was producing more than you. And then also, depending on the area that you wanted to focus in your business, you will find a coach for that. So like in the beginning, I had a coach that helped me get my team up and running, and then another coach that helped me get systems in, and another coach for other stuff. So that definitely helped a lot. It wasn't something that I was able to do on my own. I mean, of course, I did a lot of mistakes throughout the way, and I'm still doing mistakes and learning from it. And I don't think I'll ever be like, I'm not going to be the type of like, hey, I know it all by now. There's always things to learn every single day in this business. And you got to rely on people that have experience so you don't make those mistakes, because, believe it or not, every mistake will cost you either time or money. And you want to make sure that you're talking to the right people to avoid as much of those as possible. So you don't have to make too many of them on your own. And now that's really the power of coaching. And not just coaching, it's just like the network. Like for example, me and Jeff now are friends. Like I can pick up the phone and call him like the other day I called you about, EXP luxury. Like, what are the benefits? Like, we're both EXP, but you explaining it in a way that made sense to me was so much easier than just trying to find out and go through EXP Workplace and find all these benefits, right? And that helped me get a listing just by having that one conversation with you. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring is my motto. And that's just really the culture here at EXP. It's everybody sharing, whether they're in each other's organizations or in the same market or whatever. I mean, it's just such a friendly, caring, loving, giving group of realtors that are, by the way, all producing, most of them producing at a high level. We've got close to 93,000 agents now. And of course, you got your 80-20 rule, but there are a lot of very good agents at this company. One thing that you mentioned was coaching. Did I hear you say that you paid for coaching when you were dual careered?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, there's really, this is the secret sauce, everybody. What Peter did is he invested in himself and his business before he even went full time. And the success rate of new realtors is most fail 87%. So basically, let's call it 90%. 9 out of 10 realtors fail in the first 2 years, right, in this business. Peter is more than just that one 10 percentile that made it, but he took it to an entirely different level. So let's fast forward to today. How many people? Tell me about your team. How many people you got on it, agents and admin, and what kind of volume you're doing?
Yeah. So today, as of today, we have about 20 agents on the team. For licensed agents, we have an administrative assistant that is in the office. We have 2 virtual administrative assistants that handle the transaction side and the listing side. And then we have 4 virtual ISAs that also help with the inbound and outbound calls. And we have a videographer that also helps with our content right now.
I'm telling you, I've been in the business almost 30 years now, and and I've closed, close to 2,500 transactions, but I am genuinely impressed. Like, seriously, like that's awesome, Peter. Congratulations.
Thank you. Tell
me how many transactions. And by the way, when he says 20 salespeople on his team, he's not talking about like an EXP organization. He's talking about a traditional real estate team, right? Where these agents are all held accountable. He's buying leads for all of them. He's paying for everything for these agents. So that's amazing. So let's talk about how much production is that team outputting. Roughly.
So year to date, we've closed 19 deals, and right now we have 40 projected to close in the next couple of months. So we're definitely full steam ahead, and we have pretty high goals for this year. And also, like, it's one of those things where coaching and accountability is a big part of our team. So just like I invested into coaching, the benefit of that too is that my team is getting that firsthand, where it's not like they're paying out of pocket for it, like upfront, like we do. It's something that they're cutting their learning curve by 5x or even 10x. They're coming in, and I was telling this to my team the other day. It took me about a year and a half. Like, I worked a lot, like very heavy on the buyer side in the beginning. Not till 2 years ago that I started getting really heavy on the listing side. But it took me a year and a half to get my first listing signed. We have team members now that 3 or 4 months in, brand new, they have multiple listings signed, multiple listings on the market. And this is exactly what I tell my team. I'm like, you having to do that, like over 70% of agents did not close one transaction last year. People are coming on a team because of the coaching that we provide, the leads and the systems that we have. They're coming in and they've signed 7 listings in their first 6 months. Like, you're not gonna beat that, you know?
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Well, I'm excited to share this podcast with my sphere and agents around the country that look up to me as a mentor, because this what you're sharing with us is just amazing. My team, I can't wait till they see this, because I'm going to say, man, if this guy can do it, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, this guy is crushing it. He was dual careered, and it's just, yeah, I'm really truly impressed with you, Peter. So
thank you so much, Jeff. And I'll add something too. I mean, one thing that helps me a lot too, because I am very cautious of my time. Like, I try to use every minute of my day to do something. If I'm in a car, like if I can squeeze in some follow-up calls, I'll do it. If I can turn it into a mobile university, I'll do it. Or meaning, like, either listening to a podcast or listening to an audiobook. So this way I can level up my business and also learn something from it. That to me was one of the biggest things that helped me a lot in my business. Like, in the beginning, before I got into real estate, I was always listening to audiobooks, and this is what exposed me, or podcasts that exposed me to, learning about real estate and investing. And now, like, I'm learning about leadership. Now I'm learning about other aspects of the business that I need to get better at, or like doing a better presentation or doing better content. Like, you just gotta know where you're spending your time is. And this is one of the things that coaches help me out on, because you will hear the biggest excuse from agents all the time. Oh, I don't have time to do all of that. That's really bullcrap, because if you really look at your schedule, you will see that you're spending 2 or 3 hours on lunch. You're starting work at like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. You're not getting in the office early. You're watching Netflix till 12 or 1 in the morning. And then you're waking up late, and you're wondering why you can't do business. Is because you're not really putting that much time, and you gotta really follow a schedule, because a lot of licensed agents think they're independent contractors. They get into it because they feel like now they don't have to report to anybody, or they can just show up whenever they want to. But yeah, it's true. You can show up whenever you want to if you really want to be mediocre, but if you want to really be successful, you really got to start early. You got to put in the work, especially in the beginning, and you got to put in a lot of work. And I tell everybody, it's like a train. It takes so much energy to move in the beginning of the business, and then once it starts going, now you're on a momentum, and all you're having to do, it's not going to take you that much effort to move it, but you have to continue the effort that you did in the beginning to make sure that you don't stop the transactions coming in. You will get more referrals over time. You'll get deals coming in, but these are going to be just bonuses. But you just got to put in the effort. You got to be coachable, and you got to really follow the perfect daily schedule. And I'm sure you coach on that too, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, man. What an amazing close from an amazing real estate professional. And speaking of time, I really thank you for your time. I know how valuable Peter's time is, and the fact that he gave me, whatever, 20, 30 minutes of his time. I'm grateful for that. So
thank you so much, Jeff.
All right. We'll see you next time.
See you. Take care.
Uh-huh.
Bye.